Thank you, Derek, for chatting with me today. Derek is the SVP of Commercial Sales for the sales engagement platform, SalesLoft. Derek, as you give a quick introduction about yourself and what you do at SalesLoft, can you also talk about the makeup of your team? A lot of times we focus on products and features, but this is truly about how SalesLoft has built their organization to be better aligned and to focus all on the same goals.
Great. Well, so thank you, Lacey, for having me. Really excited to be here. A quick background on me is I was a middling enterprise seller. I then took a weird left turn into being the head sales guy at a psych hospital. And so those who say that I'm crazy, I have worked around those folks and then got back into sales. You know, I know you guys work closely with marketing automation. I was the fourth employee at Pardot. Had the opportunity to grow that into Salesforce and beyond. And have now landed at SalesLoft. And I think of SalesLoft as sort of the next logical leg of the journey for a marketing automation enabled or generated lead. You know, you think about it, marketers, they spend a ton of time, resources, blood, sweat, and tears to generate this fledgling MQL. And then what you see is sales calls it twice and marks it non-responsive. And that's just not, if you suspect that's happening, it isn't that you should suspect it. Serious Decisions did a study and said the average is 2 times. Read into that, marketers. That means some people are calling them 1 or 0. And so, you know, it's really, really interesting to think about how sales and marketing teams can really be broken. And they can be siloed, turf wars. And you see, you know, the salespeople think that the marketing people are arts and crafts people. They're down there like cutting out something. And then the marketing folks think the sales guys are a bunch of overpaid blowhards. And you see this sort of dogs and cats living together approach so often in businesses, and they just don't work together very effectively. One of my favorite people in the world, I got to know him during my time at Pardot, is Mark Roberge, and he is now he was the head of sales of HubSpot through their IPO, and now he is a distinguished professor at Harvard. So he is extremely smart. And something that we talked about recently was this idea that, you know, sales says to marketing, we want more leads. And marketing's like, we're on that. We got that. We can lock this down right now. And what they do is they provide a bunch of white paper leads. And the white paper lead is, here we filled our lead volume, says marketing. Sales says, no, it's not. We meant more people who want to buy right now. We want more trial requests. We want more contact me's. And there's just this sort of traditional disconnect, I think, that happens between the two arms of the organization. And so what's really important is just to get everyone under the tent. You know, whether the strategy that marketing is running is account-based, whether it's lead-based, whether it's high inbound, whether it is programmatic support for enterprise outbound, really just everyone needs to align on goals, then be accountable to goals. And, you know, I hear a lot about like marketing attribution. I know that's part of what you guys do. I'll say, well, we influenced all this revenue. It's like, yeah, but how much does it generate? Because we want stuff generated too. So there's this potential for some of the language to get a little foggy. And really what you want is you want both sides to be really clear on what they're doing, whether it is influence, whether it's attribution, whether it's programs, whether it's demand gen. And then both parties are held accountable, because sales is super measurable. And marketing is too. Sometimes you're just measuring in different directions, and that's just bad for revenue as a general rule.
That's interesting. We used to call one of my previous marketing teams the Ministry of Truth, being kind of tongue in cheek, because exactly, like sometimes we need to be a little more clear about how we are measuring to align with you guys. And so on that note, I want to talk about the importance of building that revenue team. And on your LinkedIn bio, it talks about SalesLoft is helping transform companies into the modern sales organization. So tell me more about the strategy of the modern sales org and what that looks like for sales and marketing teams who really want to transform into this single revenue team. Where do they start? Where do they go from here?
So the best place to start is at the beginning. I've always found that to be true. But as you think about what modern looks like, modern is not increasing the volume of emails to non-opted-in lists. We've been through that era. And, you know, I've seen during this pandemic that I've started receiving newsletters from companies that I don't even know who they are. And I think it's a technique designed to try and drive an acquisition strategy. But really the truth is that modern sales is a more intentional sales. It is not a spray and pray sales. It isn't a volume-based sales and marketing. It is one of intentionality, and that intentionality is around account-based programs. It is around a sincere strategy. It is around cross-channel. It's really those sorts of things. Something I think most inbound marketers will say is that in a lot of businesses that it isn't always the biggest fish that jumps up onto the boat. When I think about inbound, a lot of times I think of fishing with nets. You're getting out there and you're trying to capture as much things that are sort of in your periphery that have gotten close, and you're bringing them across the line. And when I think about account-based, it's really fishing with spears. It is going out and it is targeting what you want, and then it is a true joint program between sales and marketing to be able to bring this thing over the line. Marketing warms them up. This is display. This is events. For one of our key accounts, we sent a food truck that was SalesLoft branded out front, and it's like, did we get the meeting? Yeah, we got the meeting. Yeah, it's customized landing pages for your top 100 accounts. And then it's sales executing once they have warmed up and actually taking the spear and being able to bring these things up onto the shore, up onto the boat. And so that's what I think of as modern. It's not blast. It isn't acquisition. It's about key account identification, warming, and then acquisition. That's really what modern looks like.
Awesome. Like when you started, one of the words you used was intentional. And I really like that, because I feel like if we start every campaign kind of thinking about what is the intent, or like being intentional with the outreach, then you're not going to do that spray and pray. You're not going to have a newsletter go to somebody you've never talked to. Like that's not being intentional. So I really, really like that word. Okay. Well, these are rapid chats. So I want to go ahead and close this out. I know we could keep going. I want to hear more about the food truck.
I get paid by the word, and so I'm trying to make it a longer chat. I love this. This is great.
I love this too. We'll have to do this again. This has been really great. Yeah. But thank you so much, Derek, for taking the time out today. We love this.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me. Everyone be safe. And to quote Maya Angelou, every cloud runs out of rain. And so I'm looking forward to when this is all in our rear view. We'll talk about it as being something that was something that happened and something we pushed through. And so I'm excited for that and looking forward to seeing you all in person the next opportunity that we have to fly. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek.